Okay, good afternoon, folks. For some reason, okay, it's all right. I couldn't see a picture come up on YouTube, so I hope everyone's okay. Jay, how you doing, pal? So, hope everyone's well. I hope no one was involved or was anywhere near that that news we had overnight of that bridge going down in Baltimore. Shocking that was to see. So I hope everyone's safe and still with us. H, how you doing? Okay, what have we got today? We've got some consumer confidence news coming up at 2 o'clock UK time, which is around about 30 minutes. So far, typical story, up, down, sideways. Yesterday was pretty much sideways, although I did manage to get in a trade early. It was that one there, the triple test, which worked, and I took nothing else then. But to be fair, it was just like that most of the day, with the exception of a couple of legs, but about as sideways as you can get, really. Indy, how you doing, buddy? So if anybody's got their payments, mine's in my bank. Went into my Revolut account, had a little ping this morning, so it's all in my bank. So which is pretty quick, actually. It's not supposed to be paid till the 30th, so it's in all nice and early. So let's have a little look. What do we expect today? It's very slow yesterday, that's it. Not a lot, really. Well, look at the width there and the width there. So there was definitely less volume than the day before. And compared to that, you know, we got a larger amount of volume, a smaller and smaller still. So the volume's been, you can clearly see it there, can't you? It's been decreasing. Well, actually, it's getting smaller and smaller. There was a volume yesterday, then here, then here. It's gradually getting bigger. So let's have a little look. Market is open. There is a possible short there. My only slight concern is we've got 3 touches here. I'd like it to go down to the bottom, but I'm just not sure about this. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches there and 3 here, so I wouldn't want to be going short into there. Now, is it going to work? Probably, possibly, but I tend to avoid that. There's nothing there. There's not even a point to get out before those lows. It may smash straight through it, but unfortunately, there's nothing I can really do here. Speedy, good morning. How you doing? So we've already had a break and a new low anyway. It doesn't mean it can't go down. Okay, so that's triggered those bars there, and the fact that it's triggered and already started to come back would get me a bit concerned. So I suppose most of you US guys have probably heard the news, have you, this morning? I mean, we heard it a little bit before. I think a lot of you guys were in bed when the news came out about that bridge in Baltimore. I don't know how the hell you can manage to put a ship into that. I've got no idea. I'm not sure whether a lot of you guys will know. I mean, I suppose the saving grace is it didn't happen in the daytime. If it had happened in the daytime, there'd have been a lot more people on that bridge. You heard the ship. Oh, it did. Okay, something went wrong and it hit it looked like one of the steel supports and the whole bridge. I mean, you wouldn't think that would happen. But I suppose those big cargo ships weigh an absolute astronomical amount. But I mean, literally the thing just collapsed on the spot, didn't it? Obviously, being 1:30 in the morning, you know, traffic was limited. But if that had been during the day, it would have been a very different story this morning. Oh, right, okay. So there was obviously something wrong with it. Yeah, okay. But yeah, I mean, I don't know much about that bridge, but I'm pretty sure if it's a mile long, there's going to be a lot of vehicles on that at normal daytime. So the one saving grace that it was at the middle of the night, which obviously cut down that, the people that were around that time of the night dramatically. It's not often you see something like that, is it? Yeah, the entire thing collapsed, didn't it? And I suppose what people forget, obviously you got the loss of life, but limited, I'm guessing, because of at night. But taking away that stretch of bridge, that's going to affect a lot of people, isn't it? Businesses, it's going to affect, I don't know, I'm assuming schools, people's schools, all sorts of things. You don't realise how important these bridges are in your life. All of a sudden you take one away. But thank God it didn't happen in the middle of the day. That could have been pretty scary. You're guessing at that time of night. I mean, straight away when something like that happens, the first thing I think about is kids. But being 1:30 in the morning, fortunately, most of them have been in bed. But can you imagine that in the daytime? 2 people saved. Are looking for 7. Yeah, I think because the thing came down, I think it's a miracle that only that many people were involved. I mean, as I mentioned, if that was in the daytime, you could have been talking about hundreds and hundreds, and including kids as well. Oof, scares the hell out of me, that does. Anything to do with kids. Okay, we got this news coming up soon. Volume does seem to be sort of, whether it's just feathering off because of this week. So where are we now? We're Tuesday, aren't we? So that was Monday. It was feathering off last week. I mean, perhaps that's the way it goes. I've just never noticed before, but if you look at the width here, there's a lot more. You know, it sort of decreases there and decreases there and decreases there. And obviously yesterday, that's the smallest amount. So whether works feathering off. I mean, I suppose if you think about it, there was a bit more movement there, but yesterday was pretty much the same as the day before. And when it is like that, there's going to be a limited amount of trading anyway. So it's going to slow down, isn't it? You know, if we're not trading during this chop, then not everyone is. Obviously someone is, but that's what's allowed down. Yesterday I signed up with FlexiTrade. Not sure they are, but 90% was good. Took a 5 account bundle. Cannot use them. Cannot Ninja Trade. Cannot use. Quantower. Okay. FlexiTrade. Quantower. I've heard of Quantower. I know the Alpine Trader uses it. I believe it's good to trade not only multiple accounts but multiple prop firms at the same time. A 5 account bundle. I don't know why Apex don't do offers like that. You know, buy 4 get 1 free, something like that. Buy 10 get 2 free. Being able to purchase them in a lump sum, because it's a pain in the arse. If you got like 10 and you want it, you've got to go through it all individually. You'd think they'd speed it up, really, wouldn't you? It'd be like going through the tills at the supermarket with one thing at a time. You're thinking, come on, let's just get it. So I don't know why they've not done that. Would encourage people to buy a few extra, wouldn't it? But you can't use Ninja Trader. So you have both Apex and FlexiTrade connected. Yeah, and you have personal lifetime. Oh, good on you, mate. Yeah, I know. What's it trades it, doesn't he? And I heard him mention it. The Alpine Trader. I heard him mention you could trade multiple. Because if you can manage to tie down 20 Apex accounts, then, you know, I suppose it makes sense if you want to continue to get a bunch with some other prop firms as well. If you're making money, I suppose the natural thing to do is to try and make as much as you can. Make hay when the sun shines, as they say. So we're going to leg down then a break. 1 attempt to go higher. 2 attempts to go higher. Are we coming down for another leg? I wonder. Quantower goes a bit weird with drawing on tick charts. Does it really? He doesn't use tick charts, does he? I think I've seen him use. 2 minutes. I've also seen him use 20 seconds. You can't do that here. I think the quickest we can use is a minute. I think. Yeah, I've seen him trade with 20-second bars. Leg and a leg. So I wonder. Yeah, I know what you mean. I wonder if we're going to get something like that. Will take us down to. I was going to say yesterday's lows, but it actually went a bit lower. Yeah. So we've had this leg down with a break and a new low. I'm okay, thank you. Retain for gains. You know, I've not seen you before, so first of all, welcome. And secondly, where are you from? Retains for gains. I'm well anyway. Thanks for asking. So leg down, break, new low. One attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. Let's not forget that news. I've got a habit of forgetting it, even though I've got a great big red banner across there. Trouble is, sometimes when you've got your head focused on this area, you tend to forget everything around it. Change my name. I'm Luffy. Okay. How you doing, buddy? Change your name. Got you. Morocco. Guess you're warming up there. What's that? North Africa, isn't it? Guess you're getting a bit warmer now, where we were sort of late March, aren't we? So I'm guessing your temperature is climbing. Okay, leg and a leg. To be fair, it's a bit sideways. My thoughts were we're going to have a leg and a break. We seem to be making a few attempts to go higher, so I did wonder whether we're going to have this second leg. So there is a second entry long, which looks like it may get trapped and this come down. So I think that's quite possible. But it is an educated guess. I wouldn't trade it. But after this and 1-2 attempts to push higher and we swiftly move through that EMA and we've held underneath it, I would say for me it's more likely to come down. Whether it's going to come down for another leg or just retest this area, or I don't know. But that second entry long looks like a trap to me. There is a failure there. Now it stopped out that second entry long. My concern is that we've got an awful lot of support down here, so I wouldn't even really want to go short there in all fairness. Maybe a bit of a double trap here. We had the long which triggered and stopped out, and the failure which is triggered. We've just maybe retested this, or we could have, in fact, there may be something bigger there, I don't know, but I would suggest it's quite likely maybe a leg and a leg, which could take us down here, but I'm not sure anyway. But yeah, did that work for 2 points? Not quite. It was a failure, but one, we got that news looming, and two, by the time there's not a great deal of room left, so you don't know whether it's just going to make an attempt to retest and push up. But so you wouldn't have quite got a 1.5 out of that. Is it going to push down to this line? Who knows? I'd have thought so. So see, I would have gone for 2 points there. So realistically, you'd have had to push past there. Have you ever tried this method with Bitcoin? I haven't actually. I've traded a bit of Bitcoin, but more just with spot. So it's just more just buying it really and holding it. I haven't, but it will work with any time frame. It'll work with absolutely any market. So who was it? Was it Thomas Wade who showed it at the end of one of his videos? He showed it with Bitcoin. He showed it with the NQ. He showed it with CL, and he showed it with something else. I can't remember what it was. But it'll work with anything. If you've got Bitcoin on here, you wouldn't notice the difference. The only way you'd notice the difference is with the time frame, because obviously, you know, the bigger the time frame, but it works just with everything. And I suppose the thing is, once you can trade with price action, the good thing about cryptocurrency is you can trade cryptocurrency 24 hours a day. So if you want something else to trade, yeah, but I believe a Bitcoin chart looks exactly the same. In fact, let's have a look. Okay, so I'm kind of glad I left that now, because we've even got a 1.5 out of it. It's just risky, I think, going into here. Let me have a look. Bitcoin seems to be struggling to get much higher than 71,000, doesn't it, at the moment? So, have a look. Yeah, you can trade it exactly the same. That's Bitcoin USD. So let's have a look. You haven't got any channels on here, so you've got to do the one line, I think, haven't you? So you've got exactly the same thing. You've got a trend channel there, break new low. Bit of a reversal, so it works exactly the same. Exactly the same. But you wouldn't know that. I mean, obviously it's a different platform, so that's why. But if you look, it's working exactly the same. But yeah, you can trade it exactly the same. It is nice to have a skill that you can trade. I think you can trade. I mean, we're studying human behaviour, and human behaviour shouldn't really differ too much. Mind you, they do say certain things have certain characteristics. So maybe the ES might have certain characteristics. I don't know whether certain big players trade on that more specifically a certain way. I don't really know, to be honest with you. But I've heard Max say many times that you can trade price action on any chart on any time frame. It works exactly the same. Sam, how you doing, buddy? How you doing? Another payment looming there, Sam, by the looks of things. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? 2 in a couple of months, that'd be nice. That's a good confidence boost for a start, that is. I tilted this morning. Check out GAT. I saw the price. I think I'll find another way. Yeah, it's $349. Yeah, hopefully, mate, yeah. $349. Mind you, the way I see it, sorry, 345 euros, isn't it? It's 300 £300, just under £300 British, so it's about let's say $380 for argument's sake. So what's a PA? $140. So it is a bit of a chunk to cough up, but if it stops you blowing accounts, you blow 3 accounts and you've already lost that amount of money. But strangely enough, as soon as I decided to buy it, even though I haven't yet, I just started relaxing, and it's not scaring me now trading. And I took that loss and I walked away perfectly fine, quite happy. Never even considered for a second jumping back in. I've never experienced that, so whether it's some sort of a psychological, thing that's triggered or what, I really don't know. Yeah, I think it's with NinjaTrader. I don't know what other platforms use it, but I know you can use it on NinjaTrader. I haven't taken a trade today, no. Tell a lie. I have... I'll show you. How do I move that? There we go. There, I've traded some on there this morning. That one there I took. I'll show you. Let me have a look. I can't show you. See that bar there? When that triggered, as soon as that triggered, I bought it. Sorry, I sold it. As soon as that triggered, that second entry long, because of this, got leg breaking. I knew what was happening. So I didn't wait for that bar to close. I just sold it and got, I think, a 1.5 quickly. That just dropped. I got a 1.5 on 10 contracts quickly. 10 contracts. What I like to try and do is get a little bit of a head start and then reduce it. So at the moment, I'm trading 5 contracts on it. So there's $1,350 in that account now. So I'm trading 5. So if I do 2 more trades, that'll be 2,300, and then I'll reduce it down to 2 or 3. We'll see. Usually go for 10. Yeah, the trouble is with 10, you can get knackered pretty quickly. I mean, literally two bad trades and you're done, aren't you? And I usually trade them a bit aggressively as well, probably too aggressively. But I like to just sort of trade 10 contracts just to get a couple of quick payments, and then I'll slow it down then. Yeah, I know what you mean. I like to do them and just forget about it. There's like a triple test here. My only slight gripe with that is it's working in a very tight range. Whenever sometimes I get into trades when it fits in a tight range, I get murdered. And that is a tight range. That's not working much at all. So from top to bottom, it's 6.5 points. Now you can get shafted. Well, I haven't even finished yet. You can get shafted pretty hard when it's like that. Let's remove that. So we've got a leg down. One attempt to go. It does look like a triple test. In fact, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to, I've toggled off my replicanto and I'm going to trade.
Order submitted.
An evaluation. We'll see. It is a triple test. Let's see how it finishes. There's a bit of support there, isn't there? No, sold that.
Order cancelled.
Where are you looking? Well, I was, to be fair, we got a channel down there with a break. We got one. I just kind of like that. Well, I do and I don't. I've just literally shut down my replicanto or toggled off, and I was looking at maybe dropping a limit order in just with an evaluation, but it's just going sideways now, so I'm just staying out of that. So let's go back onto the I like the way you can just toggle on and off. So let me just check. We got that news coming up as well, haven't we? So
order submitted.
Let's just make sure both PAs and all that are working. Yeah, that's fine.
Order cancelled.
We got a channel down with a break. So I was just thinking about maybe jumping in for a few points here. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't change that on a PA, not on the planet, but because we've come from the top, we haven't come to the bottom. We got a break, so I think there's a chance this is going to come down. But we got this news coming out in about 7 minutes, so it may just continue to do that. So even if I get an evaluation, it's not worth it. Bearish bar, bullish bar, bearish bar. Do you know what? I actually like this, and I'll explain why.
Order filled. Order filled. Target filled.
Okay, I like this. I took that on earlier. What's it, by the way? So what I'm looking on the NQ is we've got this leg down. We've made one attempt to go higher and a second attempt to go higher. And I've just seen that bar there, that red bar, trigger the second entry long and push down strong. So that's when I decided to sell here, just for a couple of points. We got a channel down there with the break. We're going a bit sideways, and this is telling me we're having a quick push down, so that's why I decided to jump in. So that got me another, excuse me, quick couple $100. So I'm not marking me evaluations unless I trade them with everything. So you can clearly see a really nice, neat channel. Fits really nice. Clear break from a little bit of sideways and a drop. I wouldn't have taken that on that alone, but if you look here on that NQ, we've got that big leg down. One attempt to go high, second attempt to go higher, a little bit sideways, and I like the way there was a second entry long that triggered and started rushing down quickly, and that got stopped out, which is why I decided to get in. I didn't want to wait till the bottom. I'm just after grabbing a quick couple of points, or whatever it was. Let me have a look. I got on around about here somewhere, so what did I get? A point? Let me have a look. I didn't get much, did I? It's about a point or so on 6 contracts, so that's what I traded there. As soon as that bar triggered, this was an evaluation, by the way. As soon as that bar, the second entry long, we were topping off there, so I thought that was a trap. And as soon as that triggered, I jumped in there and got out down here. Now, I wouldn't trade that on there, but I could see what was happening. We were trapping the longs, and I just bought. Then that one rushed down really quick, and then I was in and out. So let's just put that back onto 53. 53 and toggle on, off, toggle on. I like the way you can do that, Replicanto. Just toggle off. If you want to do something different with another account, it just toggles it off. So that's my normal trading. If I want to switch over, just got to toggle off and then change that carefully, but then check and double check. Trade R was definitely a trap. What's it look like, a second entry long? Yeah, that's what I was thinking, the second entry long, but it looked like a trap to me. We're clearly struggling there, and most of the time, especially when there's news, market tends to, sort of tends to start open sideways. We've got to, for me, that I tried multiple times to try that into a channel, and it just didn't look right to me. We'd only really had 2 touches of it, and then, so I think it was more likely there. So, and it was a measured move as well. I think I did I do it from here or the bottom? I think I did it from the bottom. Yeah. So I did it from the bottom there to there. So it worked out nice. So 2 nice legs up. And then we try to go higher again. Second entry long, but to me that was a trap. So I didn't even wait for the bar to close. I took a bit more of a risk because I was pretty confident it was a trap. So if it was a trap, I knew it was going to come down there. and I put my stop right on the bottom of that line, because if that was a trap, it was definitely going to trigger that out. Sometimes I've seen them trigger them out by one tick and then shoot up. So if ever I do that, I'd make sure I put my stop right on the close, because I know it's going to tick one tick below it. So that then was a quick, it was about here I got in, it was a quick 3.5 points. And it happened quick. It started to go and dropped. So, yeah, you're right, mate. I agree with that. Second entries are fairly more. That's why you'll hear me say quite a lot, I don't often take second entries now. I much prefer to wait for the higher low. On the odd occasion, I will, if the bar is bearish enough. I mean, if we had 2 legs up here and that was the bar, then I would short that, because for me, 1, we trapped the bull bar, 2, we're tucked up tight. So if we'd come from here and we'd have 1 leg up, 2 legs up for second entry long, that's the type of trade I would take. But if we had a break out of it, a lot of times I won't, unless it's tight and hugging the underside. If it's really tight, anything like that, then I will take it. And I have noted a lot of first entries after a break, when it's that tight to the EMA, just come straight down. So that's something else I'm looking at. But I think it's good to develop your skills. News is coming out, folks, so make sure you're flat here. Although it doesn't look like much is happening, is it? Consumer confidence. Okay, it didn't really do anything in all fairness, did it? A couple of, well, I mean, if you didn't know the news was there, you wouldn't even know. A key tree. I am looking at it, bud. I am looking at it. I've even noticed, Laufey, how you doing, buddy? I've even noticed that Thomas Wade, I'm assuming he's looking at it, but I've noticed on a couple of his videos, at the end of the day, he shows you oil and he shows you the NQ, and I'm sure something else. So I think he's probably noticing a few less setups and a lot more sitting around. So it makes sense if we can trade price action on each chart. It makes sense to have another couple of charts. You know, it's worth looking at, because you know, now and again I just tend to, what I'm going to start to do, as you guys know, I'm going away in a couple of days. I'm going away in a couple of days, so when I come back, I'm going to start at the end of the day marking the chart. It's just understanding the points difference. So what I'm probably going to have to do, if I trade 2 contracts on the ES, probably reduce that to 1 contract on the NQ. Trouble is, on the NQ, it's, you know, I know the average bar size here and I know what I'm risking, but it can be a little bit excitable, the NQ. So, you know, I think your risk might vary quite dramatically at a quick guess. But yeah, I'm just playing around with a few other charts just to sort of is anybody else using Apex? Is anyone else using Apex? Although his country is not allowed. via way of a VPN. Anybody else? Or are they going to admit it if they do? Is anybody using a VPN from an see, trouble is, you've got to put all your details in, haven't you? So I don't know whether... I don't know, Apex, whether you get away with it or not. I don't quite know. Triple test. My only slight issue, bud, is look at the bottom there, look at the bottom here, look at the bottom there. So I'm concerned this is going to start to move up. We do seem to be having a... mind you, having said that, you could adjust that. In fact, yeah, that'd probably be a better option, actually. That might be a better reason. I'm very particular about picking tops and bottoms because, as you guys know, I'm shite at them, for want of a better word. Although I am improving a little bit, I tend to like them when they trap along. So if I'm going to go short here, I like it when they've triggered along. So there is a second entry long there, which is triggered. But it is a little bit sideways there, so I'm probably going to, I may sit out of this one. Let's see, we have had a little leg up there with a break. That's a little channel with a break. We haven't made a new high, but we're making multiple attempts. If there's something I tend to go with gut feeling now. I tend to either feel good about the trade or I don't. And I tend to listen to that feeling. Not only that, we've had this channel and a break. We've had two legs up. We've made one attempt to go lower. Second attempt to go low. We could end up pushing up. I'm not sure. But I'm not filled with rosy thoughts, if you know what I mean. It's not jumping out at me. Sorry, Sam, I didn't see much there. I was thinking last night, why do Apex charge us concessions in our PAs when they're not live accounts? I know, yeah, it's cheeky, isn't it, really? Yeah. Charging us fees for round trips when they're not live, I know. It is cheeky, isn't it, really? Whether they just sort of want us to get used to it or not, I don't know. But yeah, I know what you mean. It is a bit odd, isn't it? Because they say we're the cheapest fees around. Well, why do you even need to charge us fees? Because we're not trading live. Okay, so yeah, there is kind of a triple test. I don't like that wick at the moment. It could come down, but I'm a bit on the fence. There's nothing shouting at me we're coming down. So it's 50-50 for me, whether that comes down or not. I mean, it's been up here twice. My only slight concern, we've had this, we've had a break, and a new low. We've had a couple of legs up. We tried to go up. We made two attempts to go low, so we could push up here. I tend to watch the Penguin Trader a lot, the Penguin guy. I like the way he can explain the structure of the market really clearly, and he does this a lot. Low break. We've made two attempts to go lower, and then we got... So even not just to follow his strategy, but just his ability to read the market, I think is exceptionally good. So if you don't watch Penguin Trader, I definitely would. I mean, he started trading Max, and he's got his own system now, which I've got to say is pretty flawless. As far as setup goes. But I know a trader buddy of mine described him as borderline a genius, which I agree with, actually. He's very technical, and he's very good at reading that market. Yeah, see, I got no idea whether this is going to come into this range or push up. I mean, I suppose technically that was the triple test, wasn't it? But it didn't trigger, and it looked a bit uninteresting, really, didn't it? I know what's it trades a lot of these fell breakouts. It's something I tend to not do so much. Having said that, there are occasions when we have a leg down and we have this and we have two legs up. That's the type of fell breakout I'd take. If we were in a little box here like this, that is the type of fell breakout I would take, which, especially after a downtrend, which is clearly trapped a strong bull bar and then come down. But these type of ranges, I tend to avoid them because I don't think it's my strong point. I tend to focus on what I'm better at and ignore what I'm not, which probably isn't the best way to do it. Trouble is, we do so much range day, so I'm just starting to pay more attention to the tops and bottoms of ranges, and I'm going to have to start to implement them into my trading. Implement the setups into me trading, because I'm obviously missing some setups there. So that one doesn't really interest me, because there's always a possibility we could start to move up. I just don't know is the answer, and if I don't know something, I'd rather just stay out of it. But Bart seems to be pretty good at these. He seems to have success with them. He takes a lot of them. I like him. I think he's got the ability to take a trade and lose and then carry on. And it doesn't really seem to affect his trading, which I think is a really good attribute to have. So if you'd have taken that one, it would have done well. Let me have a little look at this. One leg up. Two legs up. Okay, maybe that's not as bad as I thought. So we got a leg down with a break and new low. Made one attempt to go higher, second attempt. It's just pretty much two legs up. So perhaps that wasn't a bad trade. But as I say, I tend to avoid tops and bottoms a little bit. It's not my strong point. If I'm gonna take a short at the top or at the bottom or along at the bottom, I tend to wait for a higher low. Now, obviously, on a chart like this where it's like 5 points from top to bottom, it's not always that easy. By the time you get higher low, sometimes you're halfway up here. Another day of sideways stuff. Sorry, caught me browsing my next purchase to take away. These things have got to be done. It's amazing how prices can fluctuate. I was looking at a bottle of 16-year-old Lagavulin yesterday. It was £62.79 now. Okay, what are we doing here? I just don't like trading this. There's not a massive distance from the top to bottom. What is it? It's 5 points, I think. It's gonna be one of those days. Yeah, it's a tight range. How you doing, Jay? All right? How you getting on, bud? Making millions yet? We'll call this a millionaires club in a couple of years when we're all making better money. We'll have to meet up once a year on someone's boat. Trouble is, if you get a trade wrong, you know, so many times I've got in here and you end up getting stung. And then Max says later, skilled traders are sitting on their hands and all this is, and it's the amateurs that jump in. And I'm going, damn, it's got me again. So whenever it does this, I tend to just start shopping for whiskey and let it get out of range. Taking some time off from live money. I am trying to go 100% Max system. Yeah. The only thing I will say with Max system is I think 1 point is a thing of the past. Personally, you've got to be one hell of a good trader to make money trading for 1 point. I think 6 ticks is the starting place. Now, I trade 2 points. What's it trades 2 points to 10 ticks. Thomas Wade. I know even Marco and Dan. got a bit of a flicker. Even Marco and Dan go for 6 points minimum now. People like Taylor go for 2 to 4 points. So I think there's very, very rare 2 points plus doesn't work. They're going for 2 points and a runner for 4. Yeah, I think 2 points personally is the sweet spot. I mean, I looked at max charts a few months ago and I counted over the space of a couple of weeks or something like 105 trades. 103 of them went for over 2 points. 2 of them didn't. So it's a no-brainer. Not like that. Go from 1 point, 2 point, you're doubling your profit. It's a no-brainer for me. Okay, now, channel break, new high. Now, if you were going to trade the tops of this, then that is a trade that you may probably take. But I tend to avoid these. 1, because I'm not that good at them. And 2, at the moment, that to me looks like, if you look, we're slowly working up. And the tops are as well. So, he is trading 15 contracts. So, 1 point does pay. Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is with Mac, he's been doing that for that long, it works for him. And I'll tell you something now, his 1 point will be his basic wage and his run will be his bonus because he's good enough and experienced enough to know where these moves are going, and that's where he'll make a chunk of his money. I bet he'll make more money. His scalp is almost like his bread and butter, but if he's been doing that for over 25 years, why change it? But what I will say is, if you look at some of his videos, you will never see a trade, a risk with a tick above it and tick below it more than 2 points. They just don't really exist now. I mean, the ATR is low at the moment, but if I say, let's say, for instance, I shorted that bar, I can't go over it because it won't tell me, will it? No. Let's say I shorted that bar, tick above, tick below. So let's sort of go roughly like that. So there you go. That's 2 3/4 points. So if the bars are bigger, the signal bars are bigger, it makes sense to go for more profit. You know, you can't sell baked beans in a supermarket, and if your stock price goes up or your purchase price goes up, you have to put the prices up on the shelves. Otherwise, it starts to tip away from you. You know, the balance tips away. So it's not unusual to get a 3 point risk. That's 50% more, way more than what Mac originally based this one on. So if the bars are bigger, it's not just the risks bars bigger, the profit ones as well. The whole bars are bigger, so it makes perfect sense. So I think 6 ticks is a starting point. If you're coming away from a point, I would say probably go with 6 ticks first. But just monitor it. Every single one of your winning trades, just go back and look at your charts and work out how they'd have gone. And if you're coming up from 1 point to 2, you're doubling your profit. You've only got to get it right once in 3, but I think I think that's about 70%, but I think you'll find it's about a 97% win rate, which is astronomical. So that one is working. My only slight concern with that is it is getting slightly higher. So whether that makes a difference or whether we're going to come down here, I don't know, but I just tend to avoid them because there is a very, very slight increase there. No, I don't think it's enough to do something. There's a very, very small uptrend there. Now, to me, the more shallow these things go up, the less reliable they are. But nonetheless, it is sideways, but it does seem to be growing a little bit, and that's what would concern me taking something like that, and the fact that I'm shite at them anyway. That doesn't help. So whether we can move this up a bit, we probably can. So that would work out a bit better. But still, for me, it looks like it's slowly working up. And now we may get a bull bar trapping a short there and sitting on top of that EMA. So I'm kind of glad I left that one. Yeah, I mean, above the EMA, but I think if you're in a range, every bar you short is going to be above the EMA. But, you know, with range rules, I don't really think it matters. But this range to me looks like it's starting to grow. I think that's what's putting me off. So that may be a lower high. I'm still concerned though.
Retail traders. So
yeah, I think you're probably right there. I mean, if you look on the NQ, it's clearly more of a channel, isn't it? So, yeah. Let's take that away. Yeah, I think it probably is a little bit. I think it's a mixture. The trouble is, the more shallow these are, the less reliable they become, and they turn more lightly into a range. So there is a lower high there, which is tempting. It's actually quite a small risk. But if we are slowly moving up, you could get stung here. We seem to be struggling along that midline, so let's get an order in ready.
Order submitted.
I like the fact that it's going to trap along there. I'm not sure about this. Oh, it's gone orange. Short on the NQ. Trouble is, we're coming to support on the NQ, aren't we? See if we can trap along here and get a failure. Went orange as well. It never triggered anyway, but that's fine. Okay, that's a shame. Oh well.
Order cancelled.
Some you win, some you lose. I dropped my order and it went orange for some reason, so I don't quite know why. think it looks more sideways than up. It just doesn't look that it's just not as reliable when it's up. Leg up, leg up. You know what? I'll even go as far as to say it's more like that. Okay, excuse me, just for a quick minute, I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Okay. Channel down. Are we going to have two legs down, or are we going to push back into that range? It's hard to say, really. We're still a ways from the EMA on the NQ at the moment, so let's see if we pull back. There is going to be some support there, or some resistance there. Let's see how we find out this. So a little channel, leg and a leg. Okay, there's a higher low on the NQ there. A tough day it could be, you never know. It hasn't started off well. It seems to have done. It does this a lot lately, doesn't it? A lot of it yesterday. Mind you, we only need one trade. If I'd have took that one, I did drop a limit order in there, but it never picked me up. It's tempting. Trouble is, we're already at the top of the channel. Not the ideal place to go long. I don't think it's going to work anyway. So we're getting a bit more volume coming anyway. It's definitely flickering around now, isn't it, a little? Leg and a leg. Interesting. Trouble is, I just don't want to go short into that. If we can get a lower high below it, then that might be a different story.
Order submitted.
Now am I going to get trapped here? Bar's no good anyway.
Order cancelled.
Right, although this is pushing down quite strong on the NQ, this is struggling to get below that line, which I think is a good point.
Order filled.
Need to break above that one, really. Getting a bit of a matching top here. I don't like this. I want to get
Order
out.
filled.
I'm out. Good. We're getting a bit of a double top there. Might be okay, actually. High or low there.
Order submitted.
Actually, I'm going to get
Order
back in
submitted.
there on a limit order.
Order filled.
One tick lower, because I think this is holding. We're correct. We've had a new low there by tick, and we've created a higher low there. So I think I'm okay to hold there. I've saved myself a tick anyway. We'll see. It is a failure. There's shorts trap there. Shorts trap there. And it is sideways, and it is a failed breakout. So you would expect it to likely get to the top. I think this is okay. I've got that at about this. I like the way that's sitting, hugging the top of that. If we get above here, I think we're okay. We'll see anyway. I'm in now. I'm in and committed. I'm happy anyway. No issues. I've got no worries. Still struggling, isn't it? Need to get above here. Once we get above here, I think we're okay. I don't like the way that's triggered that. It's just struggling to get up, isn't it? I think I've got to get out of this.
Order filled.
Okay, that got me bloody quick. Okay, I'm guessing they knew there was some stops there. Oh, I was just about to get out of it as well. Okay, oh well, it happens. So it was that one there, wasn't it? What did it get me for? 2.5 points. Okay, so got me quick. Was it that one I got in? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? £2.5 points, wasn't it? Yeah. So it was a fail second entry short. Minus 2.5 points. I like the way it bounced off here, so it's a shame. You just don't know. Sometimes they'll just work. Let's see if we can wait for a triple test here. That's all. There is a short there, I think. It's a failure.
Order submitted.
Let's have a look at this. Break new high. Well, match in high. Try got one, try twice. A failure. Channel down. No, it's
Order
just congested.
canceled.
I'm staying out of it for the time being. I mean, there is a second entry long there. Trouble is, at the moment on the NQ, prices is below the EMA. Yeah, it's hard to know what's going on here, really. I think the safest course of that. I thought that was okay, actually. Nice bar. I like where it's sat. But then when it made a double top, I got out of it. And then I got back in. But there you go. It happens, doesn't it? It's just not seemed to stress me like it did for some reason. I feel perfectly fine. I'm in no panic or no rush. See, what I'm seeing on the NQ at the moment is we got this leg down and one attempt to go higher, and this is a second attempt to go higher. So is it going to turn and come rocketing down? We could have the same. We're really struggling to go higher here. So this could come down. Let's see if we get that. There is a possibility of another measured leg here, which would take us down to roughly the same sort of area. So I'm looking for a triple test. So let's call that once, let's call that twice, let's call that possible third time. Okay, so it looks like it's ending up going the bloody place I expected it to anyway. That's frustrating. Well, it ain't finished yet. So 2 points is at that line there, the midline of the bigger channel. It is frustrating when you take a long and it ends up going in the same place. It takes you out for a tick or two and then ends up going up in the same bloody direction. look at this. I want this to push strongly below that EMA. Interesting. Leg down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher, failure. If that may continue down now. It looks very much like a penguin style trade. One attempt, second attempt. Whew. Got so boring. We had a ruck of this yesterday, didn't we? It is so flipping boring. All that. I hope we don't stay in here for long, otherwise I'm going to stop. How long have we been going? Let's give another hour, see how we get on. Yeah, that was the better setup, I think, that one there. Second entry long. Trouble is, I just got stopped out there, so sometimes I think it's better if you have a little bit of time before you jump in a trade. But it's just not stressing me at all. Not really in the slightest. It's an odd feeling. Normally I'll be panicking desperately to take a trade now, but I'm kind of fine about it. Ever since I decided to get that bit of software, which I haven't got yet, it's weird. Okay, leg and a leg. Let's see what goes on here. Okay, Ski, I'm just going to take a quick 5 minute break, make a quick cup of tea. I'll be back in about 3 to 5 minutes. Okay. Guys, so I don't know what to do here. There is a possible failure there. Are we going to push up? Possibly. God, it's so boring when he does this. Hmm. This is just starting to look like it's struggling on the NQ. Leg up. So you don't know whether this is going to come down. I'm not even sure there is a channel. I don't even think I could adjust that to get anywhere near a possible top, could I? Let's put that back. Just wonder if we get another little leg. I mean, this is bounced off here, so I think there's a good chance it's going to come up into this area here. And this could come up as well. We've had this overshoot in a lot of cases. When we have this, we have on the other side. So if we can get 2 legs down and maybe a second leg and a nice bullish bar down here, then I may have a go at that. Let's see. Artie, how you doing, bud? Easter trading. Do you know how to have words in the drop-down text window? Drop-down text window. You mean this? That there? Is that what you mean? You might not have this, bud, if you haven't got Mac's thingy. If you haven't got Mac's, so you might have to get it from here. Is there text in there somewhere? Oh, maybe there isn't. I'm not sure, mate, to be fair. This is from Max. Must be it somewhere. You'd think there'd be a way of writing on there somewhere. Text. Is that right? There we go. There we go. Oh, that's it. Yeah, so it's just in here, down the bottom somewhere. Text. There you go. F12 or F12 for short. Possible second entry long. What's going on here?
Order submitted.
Looks like a small risk, we'll say. If that finishes bullish, I'm going to take that.
Order filled.
It's a small risk. It's worth it. There is a double bottom there, but I'm going to come just to the tops there. It's a small risk, so I think it's worth taking it. Point and a half risk. We've had this overshoot. We're right at the EMA. It is a second entry long, so I think there's a fair chance that's going to get up there. In fact, that what it's well, it's not looking good, is it? It is a second entry long. We got a touch. We've confirmed the channel, so anyway, it's a relatively small. It's a point and a half risk. If this doesn't work, then I'm going to go on to a sim for the to the evaluation for the remainder of the day, and then leave the live accounts. I feel perfectly fine, not stressed at all. For some reason, it's just seemed to have disappeared. It's a weird feeling not to have any worry or stress when I'm taking a trade. I am going to give that one extra tick, because sometimes that extra tick saves your neck. But we're in this channel up at the in the NQ, and we're at the bottom of the channel, so hopefully it'll turn now. In fact, you know what? I'm not even going to give it an extra tick. Let's just leave it where it is. If the setup's good enough, it shouldn't make a difference. It's an extra $25 times 2. It is what it is. I may even have to take a bit less profit there because that ATR is quite low. Having said that, we have had an overshoot. Sorry, so I expect that to push above. So I'm going to leave it where it is. It's not stressing me in the slightest, and it feels weird. It feels weird. My stress levels are perfectly normal. Usually my face and head feels hot. It's not bothering me. I've got a tingle in my belly because I can't believe I'm not feeling stressed. It's like an excited Christmas morning feeling. Why am I not feeling stressed and panicking? I'm already a trade down. It's weird. This seemed to just disappear ever since I decided to get that software, which I haven't got. I am thinking about getting out for break even because it might be going a bit sideways. We'll see. Let's see. We've come down. Weird. Second entry long.
Stop filled.
Well. What I don't want it to do now is to take me out for a tick and turn up. I don't think it has, is it? Or has it? That would frustrate me. I went to give it a tick and then I stopped. And I thought, no, just leave it where it is. I want it to come down another tick. So second entry. Second entry long and it's minus 1.5. So come down again. 1.5 points. Okay, so what have I learned today? Strange. It's just a bit choppy. I mean, we're going sideways. We've had a failed breakout. We've had a push up. We've had a break, and I don't know. It was a second entry long. Kind of liked it. It confirmed that channel. I expected it to get up to the highs and push up. But sometimes it just doesn't work. And the only thing I can think of, it's just a bit choppy. So if I'd give it that extra tick, maybe it's going to work. So the one time I decided not to do it, but I think it's irrelevant really, in all fairness. It doesn't often work. It is frustrating that it's done that. So 2 losses in a row. It's not often I get that. The only thing I can say is that one, just a bit too choppy inside was that one. I didn't think that was that bad, and now it's working. Look. It is frustrating when it takes you out for a tick. Where did I have that? I had that there. That's where I had that. 1 tick below. If I'd have taken an extra tick, it wouldn't have got me. That's what I mean. Sometimes it doesn't. But whenever I decide lately to move it a tick, it stops me out and get it for more than a tick. So it's just weird. Strange. So what I am going to do is toggle off my accounts and trade on an evaluation. I'm going to buy that.
Order filled.
Let me just check. It's just the evaluation. Yeah, it is.
Order filled.
I don't mind with a risk. It is frustrating that would have worked an absolute treat. Look. It's annoying. Ticks you out for 1 tick and ends up rocking exactly the same as there. A little bit more than a tick like, but exactly the same thing. So I was patient there and waited, and look what happened. It's a bit annoying. So what am I down for the day? 4 points. So I might get out there. Let's just leave it. I want to be able to continue to trade that, see, so if I think it's risky, let's just get out of it.
Stub filled.
Okay. Strange. That one I missed, which turned into a great trade. It is frustrating when it does this, I gotta say. What was I going for? About 2 points there. So would that give me 2 points? Not quite. So down 423 on each account. So down, what am I? Yeah, so 4 points. So that's going to work, innit?
Order filled.
Let's take a risk on an evaluation. I wouldn't short there for a starters. That's the last thing I do is short there, so I'm hoping that's going to get taken out. Sometimes I'll do that. If I see a weak looking short and it triggers and pushes up, I need to stop. What a brain damage. This is an evaluation, by the way, not a live account. I'll tell you what, I'll make it easy for you. Yeah. God, it's hard going today. Come on, push up. Got to push through it, surely. Oh, let's just get out.
Target filled.
Let's have a look. Okay, I'm going to knock it on there, I think. It's not often I lose 2 in a row. That one I get, but that one, nice second entry off the key entry point. Above the MA, double bottom. Thought that was okay. It ended up going, but not before it stopped me out for a tick. Yeah. Sorry about that last comment. You always get the odd idiot on here. We usually spot them pretty quickly. So that's it for today. So I'm actually okay about it. I'm surprised that one, yeah, thinking about it a bit risky, but it came up and bounced off here, so I thought that was okay. You were at the previous leg. You were at the measured move at the yeah, I know, but it still carried on, didn't it? So we had a measured move, but it's still going up. So sometimes I'll give it an extra tick and it'll work, but measure moves don't concern me too much if we're in a trend channel. But I thought that was okay. But anyway, that's it for today, folks. So worst day I've had for a while, but there you go. It happens. But I'm all right about it, and I'm just kind of getting on with it. So what day is it? Wednesday tomorrow. So we got Wednesday, Thursday, and then that's it for the week. I'm away Friday and back Monday, but we got the Easter weekend anyway. So I mean, it does look like it. Anyway, regardless of that anyway. So that's me done for the day. So what am I down? 423 on each of my accounts. So that's fine. We're all good anyway. So right, that's it for today. I'll be back same time tomorrow. So if you carry on trading, best of luck. Watch this stuff. It's just chopped me up. So failing that, have a great evening, and we'll chat tomorrow. So bye for now.